Alright, I got to this video kind of late. I've had a massive cold for, I don't know, the past 3 or 4 days, and they don't really bother me. They're just kind of really annoying, and they just make me want to sleep. So that's what I've been doing. It's clearing up, though. Um, Directly after this video, I'm going to do the, gosh, what are we in now? Week 9? No, we're in week 8. We're going to week 9. Okay. I was going to say. So after this video, I'm going to do the week 8 recap. Look, New England plays Buffalo tomorrow night. And I'm not going to sit around and wait for that game to end to make the video, because I'm pretty sure New England's just going to murder Buffalo. It's going to be bad. And I got a lot of shit to do Tuesday, so I'm just going to make my recap tonight, because I'm not going to have the time to do it tomorrow night after work. So Denver gets swept by Kansas City for the third straight season. The last time that Denver won was 2015 when they beat us at Arrowhead. Yeah. So this game was a little bit closer than what I'd like it to be. I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised Denver hung in this well at Arrowhead. Usually they don't play that great at Arrowhead. Kansas City was held scoreless. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but from my knowledge, the fourth quarter of this football game was the first quarter we have ever been held scoreless. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's correct. This week's fourth quarter, I know we had one quarter. I think it was against New England or somebody where we. No, it's San Francisco. We scored 3 points in a quarter. But anyways, to my knowledge, this is the first quarter that we have been held scoreless. Denver played us tough again. I was kind of surprised. They really got after Mahomes. Mahomes didn't really have anybody open. I know that's kind of crazy to say because we scored 30 points, but on a good day for normal teams, 30 points is a lot of points. For Kansas City, a bad day is 30 points, We played in Denver last time, and we only got 27 out of them. So this game, Sammy Watkins went off this game. Sammy Watkins went off. Kareem Hunt did his normal stuff. He didn't get near as much on the ground. Their running game just gashed the crap out of us, which was kind of expected. Between Lindsey and Royce, Royce Freeman didn't run the ball today. I think he was out. But they got another back that's just as good. His name's Booker. I don't know his first name. Don't know too much about him. But their running game, which their running game is good. I'll give them that. For as bad as football team as they are, their running game is good. There was a couple times this game where coverages were blown. It kind of looked like earlier in the season, which was weird. I didn't really understand that. So the defense was kind of edgy. They came out hot. They played pretty good through the whole first half. They allowed 7 points. There was a blown coverage at the end of the first half, at the very end of it, which was kind of like, really, out of all times. It must have been a misconception or something. They must have snapped it when they wasn't ready. They came out the third quarter. They blanked Denver. And the third quarter, we scored 14 points. It looked like we was just going to do like we normally do. We was just going to run off with it, and Denver was going to lay down. But I'll give them credit. They didn't lay down. They stuck with it, and they ended up blanking us in the fourth quarter. They kept Mahomes off the field for the most part, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's probably the hardest time I've seen Mahomes have all season, especially in the second half. I've seen him have bad first halves, but I've always seen them make up for it in the second half. Hint, we did that to Denver last time. So, I mean, credit to them for taking away Mahomes in the fourth quarter, especially after he blew up in the third. But I will give them that credit. They did a good job containing Mahomes in that fourth quarter, and they got him off the field fast. I was really surprised. I really was. And to be completely honest with you, Denver really shot themselves in the foot this game. I mean, they had penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty. They were getting holding calls. They were getting chop blocks. They were getting all kinds of stupid shit, and they just kept backing themselves up until eventually it was too much. So I'm not going to hide that fact. I'm not sure what the team stats are on penalties, but they had to have had a shitload of penalties. I mean, every drive they were shooting themselves in the foot. So, I'm glad we got out of this game with a win. That's for sure. That definitely helps us in the division. Definitely. Oakland lost this week. Chargers are on a bye week, so there ain't much we can do with that. I'm pretty sure New England's going to win. Case Keenum, he was 23 for 34, 262 yards, two touchdowns and a pick, which that is not correct. He had 2 picks. He threw a pick on the flea flicker. Or did he have 2 picks? No, it was a fumble. That's what it was. Sorry, I'm trying to remember it now because I took a nap in between then and now. He fumbled one. Yeah, he fumbled one and he threw a pick on the flea flicker, which, by the way, was a hell of an interception. And he almost threw one at the end of the game, but our guy was out of bounds. Phillip Lindsay, 18 carries, 95 yards, a touchdown. He averaged 5.3 yards a carry. Devontae Booker had 9 carries for 78 yards, an average of 8.7 a run. That is ridiculous, man. I mean, I get it because they didn't give the receivers jack shit. I mean, one guy, their top guy, had 78 yards, Sutton. But, you know, they kind of took away the passing game, but once again, they just allowed the run to gash the holy crap out of them. I mean, that's 2 guys right there that almost had 100 yards rushing apiece. And they were averaging 5 and almost 9 yards a carry. That is ridiculous. That has to stop. On Kansas City side of things, Patrick Mahomes was 24 for 34, only had 10 incompletions, 303 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. The interception that he had, he threw it where Kelsey should be. And don't get me wrong, he led him too far out front. But, you know, Kelsey didn't stick out his hands or anything. He just kind of watched it go by him. And the safety was back there, and he picked it off. So I don't know if Kelsey just figured it was going to be an overthrow or what it was, but he made no attempt to try to catch that ball, and the dude had a clear lane to just pick it off. So it wasn't thrown over his head. It was just thrown too far out in front of him. So I don't know what the deal there was, but anyways, Kareem Hunt had a tough day on the ground. 16 carries. He only had 50 yards, 3.1 yards a carry. But he did have a big catch for a touchdown where he hurdled a guy for, I don't know how long it was, but the receiving side of things, holy cow. Sammy Watkins, 8 catches, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was targeted 9 times. Travis Kelce had 6 catches for 79 yards, 1 touchdown. He was targeted 10 times. Tyreek Hill had 3 catches for 70 yards. He was targeted 4 times. Kareem Hunt was targeted 6 times. He caught 5 of them for 36 yards and a touchdown. And Anthony Sherman caught 1 for 10. DeMarcus Robinson caught 1 for 1 yard. They were both targeted 1 time apiece. D Ford had 2 forced fumbles in this game. Breland Speaks is the one who recovered one of the fumbles. The other one was recovered by Denver. Kendall Fuller had 1 interception. Early on in the game, man, they was really getting after Keenum, and once that fourth quarter hit, they kind of slowed down. I mean, they started not getting to him as much. Now, part of this could be because Hitchens went out with a rib injury. Now, I haven't heard anything about this, so I'm going to say it's nothing serious that we know of right now. But Hitchens did go out at the beginning of the fourth quarter, I believe, but it was a rib injury. Tyreek Hill left the game with only a few minutes left in the fourth quarter on the last offensive possession. He returned a punt, and he tweaked his groin or something like that. They already said that's nothing serious. They was just keeping him out of the game because they wanted him to rest for Cleveland next week. So, running game needs to get back to form, obviously. Receivers are still putting in work. Patrick Mahomes just barely got over 300 yards, but it's still a 300-yard game. Which, by the way, he now has seven straight 300-yard passing games, and if he gets up to 9, he will be tied with Kurt Warner and a bunch of other guys, which is magnificent. But the defense did play well today. Anthony Hitchens was obviously our leading tackler, 6 tackles, 3 assists, one tackle for loss, and Jordan Lucas, who is our safety, he had 6 tackles. A lot of corners and safeties up there near the top. So, but when you got running backs that are cutting out 5 yards a run, there's going to be a lot of safety and corner help in there. So, it wasn't pretty. I think the offense did pretty good. I think the defense looked kind of shaky at times, but they did pretty decent on turnovers and stuff. That definitely determined the game. But Denver played us tough, and there was a chance that they would, but I figured we'd pull away from them, which we started to, and then they kind of crept back in it. Hopefully Hitchens is okay. Hopefully Tyreek Hill is nothing serious. Those are 2 really big-name players, and with Justin Houston still being out, we can't afford to be missing Hitchens, especially when he's leading tackles every single game. Hitchens is definitely a guy we need in there. I think the pass rush did really good, minus the fourth quarter. They were kind of edgy on getting to him in the fourth quarter, but every other time they was on him. Gosh, man, what else? Next week we have Denver. Next week we have Cleveland, and it's at Cleveland. Cleveland's coming off 2 straight blowout losses, one to Pittsburgh and one to the Chargers. So they might be a little pissed off coming into that game. But as I said before, with other teams, it's nothing we shouldn't be able to handle. Baker Mayfield's a rookie. We got to get to him, and the offense has to keep it moving. The Browns' defense has kind of tapered off over the past 2 weeks. So here's the team stats. Total yards, Denver had 411. We had 340. Passing yards, we had 291. Denver only had 222. Rushing yards, Denver had 189. We had 49. That is scary. So we didn't give them that many passing yards, but holy shit, did we give it up on the ground. Average yards of play, we averaged 6.3. They averaged 6.0. Points scored, obviously 30-23. Fumbles lost, Denver lost 1, we lost none because we didn't have a fumble. Interceptions thrown, we each threw 1. Sacks allowed, Denver allowed 5. That's great to see. It's great to see. Mahomes had some pressure that he wasn't really used to, in my opinion. There was 2 sacks recorded in this game against Mahomes, and one of them was just kind of a tackle for loss. He tried to option and it didn't work and went down as a sack. The other one, they just beat him. They got to him. Third down efficiency, we wasn't that great. We was 30%, Denver was 33. Time of possession, Denver had it for 32 minutes. We had it for 27. Almost 33. Denver had it for. So Once again, I'll say this again. I'd rather have an offense that can score in 30 seconds than an offense that takes, a half a quarter to get down the field. And this is why right here. Because if the other team wins the time of possession, you can win the scoreboard. Penalties, Denver had 10 of them. 10 penalties. Denver had 10 penalties. We had 7. Harrison Butker missed his first extra point of the year. Before that missed extra point, he was 61 for 61. So I don't know what happened there, but he shanked it. That extra point would have been nice. Could have put the game out of reach by 8. Would have forced them to do a little bit something different. But we got Cleveland next week. And like I said, I don't think it's anything that we shouldn't be able to handle. Cleveland's not that great of a football team, but it doesn't mean they don't have a chance. Anybody can win on any given Sunday, and that's the way Kansas City needs to keep treating it, Third best team in the AFC came to Arrowhead Sunday night. We blew them out 45-10, and then we play this team who's one game under 500 coming into it, and we beat them by 7. Like I said, these divisional games are always crazy. I mean, take Oakland for an example. Oakland is terrible right now. Teams are blowing them out. Teams are beating the shit out of them. But come division game, it could happen. It could happen. They could win. They've done it in the past. I remember one season when we was 7-3 and they were 0-10, and they got their first win off of us. And I think it was by 7 or 10 points. It was a pretty decent margin. So anything can happen in the division. Let's hope for the best. So I'm going to do the recap now. Once again, Kansas City topped off Denver. Denver goes to 3-5. Kansas City goes to 7-1. We swept Denver this year. We are now 3-0 in the division. 2 of them coming from Denver. 1 of them coming from the Chargers. So I'm going to do the recap now.